Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Explorer. Thanks again for joining me today, guys. So today we have one of my, I really like this whiskey. I guess it's one of my personal favorites. We've got a whiskey tonight from the Bowmore distillery. So we are going to review the Bowmore 12. And as you guys can see from the bottle here, this one's getting kind of low. So I may have to replace this one soon. So Bowmore single malt, aged 12 years, and this one here is bottled at 40%, which is a bit of a shame. So as you guys know, I usually like them higher ABV. Usually when I shop for a scotch or a single malt scotch, I'm looking at picking one up that's at least 43% ABV and preferably 46 and above. This one comes in at 40%, so you could argue that it's a bit thin, but I think it represents some fantastic value in terms of a single malt scotch. So I think I picked this bottle up for about $50 Canadian, so I think for a 12-year-old single malt that's a really good deal. So maybe just a little bit more than 50, maybe $50 to $55, somewhere in there. And this is an Islay distillery. But don't go out and get this bottle and expect it to deliver a major peat bomb like other Islay distilleries. So other Islay distilleries of note, Laphroaig, Ardbeg, Lagavulin, those are going to be the really heavy peat notes, the bonfire smoke, the char. This one is not. This one is a lighter, more kind of, I would call it like more of a fragrant type of peat smoke, and so it's definitely quite a bit lighter, and then it's sherry cask finished, so you're getting a fairly sweet whiskey here as well. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into a dram of this stuff here. Alright, so I'll do the uncorking here. Alright. Oh, the cork smells fantastic. Really, really nice. It's like, you know what it reminds me of is Highland Park 12, which, as you guys know if you watch the channel, one of my all-time favorites. This one here, you get lots of the sherry, so lots of the sweet notes, but then you also get like, I'm almost getting like a smoked meat kind of vibe, so like a brine and a smoke to it as well. So let's go ahead and pour a dram here. Alright, here we go. Alright. Yeah, that guy is almost done. I like the Bowmore bottle too. It's pretty classy looking bottle. You guys see it's just very classic, you know? Not really any frills there, but just kind of looks like a classic Scotch, single malt Scotch bottle, so I like that one. Alright. Ooh, so on the nose. Actually, before we do that, just a quick note on the color there. That looks to me like a medium, I'll get a little bit closer to the camera there. Looks like a little bit of a medium to dark copper hue to that one there. Alright. So, on the nose, tons and tons of butterscotch. Really, really malty. You get like a cereal kind of grain, well, I shouldn't say grain, but like a cereal note to this as well. Like, basically like, I imagine like porridge or oatmeal with like brown sugar, little hint of cinnamon maybe. Really deep, rich malt flavor there. I'm even getting a little bit of milk chocolate on the back end of that. Maybe a little bit of orange too. So that, the end of the nose there, and this one's only 40%, so you can get your schnoz right down in there. At the end there, I get a citrus note, and it's orange. So it kind of reminds me of Bowmore. That way. All right, let's go in for a taste here. not actually as good as I remember it. Not very much smoke or peat there at all, and from what I'm getting in this. And keep in mind, this has been I've got into this one quite a bit. So we're looking at the heel of the bottle, well, not quite the heel, but about a quarter of the bottle left. So not a whole lot of whiskey left there. So that means that the whiskey has had plenty of opportunity to oxidize. So that could be affecting the flavor here. So what I did get on the taste there, on the palate, rather, was quite a bit of butterscotch, a little bit of caramel, and some vanilla. And now I'm starting to get the smoke. So it's definitely there. It does remind me a little bit of like a very, very mild version of like the Lagavulin 16. So definitely a much more subtle peat than some of the heavy hitters, the classic Islay malts, right? Let's go for another set. So, on the second sip there, a little bit more smoke, a little more complexity, a little bit of white pepper on the finish there, or black pepper maybe. Not too complex, to be totally honest with you guys. And this whiskey has changed a lot since even, I think, what I remember from the last time that I had it. Typically what I usually describe the Bowmore 12 as is the flavor combination is salty and sweet. And I was watching another review on another channel recently, and the guys on the channel there described what they were tasting for a totally different whiskey. I think it was an Old Pulteney special edition cask strength. Believe it was 17 or an 18-year-old, something like that. And they were saying it's like the combination of that brine and the sweet malt is like kettle corn. And I think that's the perfect description for Bowmore. And I think that this bottle has got so low, it's changed significantly. So some of that brine smoke that I'm used to getting from Bowmore, I'm not getting on this time around, not nearly as much anyways. Strangely enough, it's showing up there on the nose, but the real flavor I'm getting here is heavy influence from the sherry cask there. So sherry, for sure, sweet, kind of fruity actually. It does have that little bit of the orange zest to it, I would say. Lots of caramel and butterscotch flavors, but this time I'm not detecting very much of the smoke and the brine. So this is a bit of a strange review, but I'm just trying to give you guys the straight goods and tell you what I'm finding in the glass as we go along here and we explore this whiskey. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. So thanks for joining me again for the review of the Bowmore 12. And if you haven't done so already, please click on the subscribe button there and turn on the notifications so you guys know when I'm posting new videos. And cruise on over to the Patreon page. Alright, so till the next one, guys, Salancha.